Quite a day here in Memphis, Tennessee, and our mayor, Paul Young, and police chief C.J. Javis were out there at the Tennessee Highway Patrol this morning for that news conference. They join us here live now at Action News 5 and a Better Memphis to talk about how the Memphis Safe Streets Task Force will operate in our city. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor Young, let's start with you. Given your prior statements of concern about the National Guard coming to the city, how will you ensure these resources are used in a way that truly benefit and strengthens our community?
Well, for me, it's really about alignment. One of the things that has been encouraging over the past week and a half, 2 weeks that we've been talking about this, as we've talked to federal partners, as we've talked to the National Guard, all of them have stated that they want to align their work with the work that we've already been doing. So that means the great work that MPD has been doing with Fugitive Task Force, Code Zero. As they come into the fold, we want them to help amplify the work that we've already been doing. And I think that is a strategic way to use those resources to accelerate the pace of the work that we've been putting in.
Well, Chief Davis, this is unprecedented in our city, and certainly in your era as our chief. How will this collaboration work now? How do you see this unfolding? And especially just for a resident who calls 911, will there be any difference in how MPD responds?
Well, no, not at all. As a matter of fact, that was part of the conversation this morning, and a point that we have really tried to impress upon our federal partners, that the Memphis Police Department still has an entire city to respond to, and that's what we will continue to do. So the continuity of operations will not be disrupted by this deployment at all. As a matter of fact, some of the operations that we've done with the feds on a smaller scale, this gives us an opportunity to amplify it.
And Mayor, the governor mentioned $100 million in state funding for public safety efforts. What's expected with that funding?
Yeah, we're still figuring all of that out, but I will say that we have been talking for months about ways to get more investment in infrastructure, safety infrastructure in and around downtown. So it will likely be around dollars to support those efforts, but certainly it will be complemented by any of the initiatives that come out of this as well.
Well, that $100 million.
It's $100 million.
It's a pile of money, and that got everybody's attention today, but the governor didn't say anything specific about line items and what he might want. Chief, what would you want done with that $100 million?
Well, you know, believe it or not, after all of this is over, we have to sustain crime reduction in Memphis. You know, so part of that money really needs to go towards not just enforcement, but also to all of those other root causes, all of the other initiatives and important work that needs to be done in our city that, quite frankly, may not have been funded appropriately for us to see an impact and a difference in the city.
Well, what about command structure? How will that work?
A lot of talk about command structure, and that's some of my major concerns, because this is sort of a hybrid. This hadn't happened in my career, any other, you know, law enforcement agency that I've been with. We get federal support, but not at this magnitude and not with, you know, National Guard as well. But we want to make people really understand that command and control is important. Knowing and understanding everybody's roles is critically important. And so we've done a lot of communicating with our federal partners and also with the Major General of the National Guard on what expectations should look like and how we communicate with fluidity so that, you know, we're all on the same page.
Right.
Well, Mayor, some of the language that's been used from the White House and other government leaders is, quote, hyper-vigilant policing. That's one of the lines that's going along with this, along with large-scale saturation of, quote, besieged neighborhoods. So what do you think that means, and how will you address the fears of people who fear over-policing and oversaturation?
Well, I won't attempt to try to break down all of the words and say what they mean. I can tell you what we have been talking to them about. What we have been talking to them about is how we can get them to fold into the existing initiatives that we have underway. We know that we have lists of individuals that have felony warrants, that have done things in our community and continue to do the same things. We want to put the emphasis on identifying those individuals who refuse to do right by our community and use the federal resources to go after those individuals to make our community safer.
Should our Latino neighbors be at all concerned? I mean, should they be afraid right now?
We've certainly been asking those questions, and our understanding from the governor and from the federal partners is that this initiative is about violent crime. And if there are individuals with immigration challenges that get caught up in that, then ICE would certainly come in that instance, but this is about violent crime.
Okay.
Well, both of you know extraordinarily well that we are an impoverished city. About a third of our residents truly fall into that very difficult description. Tomorrow morning, the Memphis Rotary Club and St. Patrick Community Outreach will have a mobile food pantry downtown on the east end of FedEx Forum that we've been operating for 5 years that will have 500 cars lined up. And those people are counting on that kind of help. Let's talk about the root cause of crime. I know that's something that you're concerned about. Do you expect investments in non-policing approaches to crime prevention to stay the same or perhaps increase with this new federal presence?
Well, I will say that it is my hope that we can identify new resources to help support the things that we know will drive crime down long term. My goal as we go through this process is threefold. One, build upon our existing strategies. Number two, make sure that we have continuity of services. And then three, most importantly, sustain any gains that we achieve. And in order to sustain those gains, we do have to address those root causes. We do have to invest in the organizations that are on the ground, working with our young people, changing their mindset, and that's going to be our goal. We're going to use dollars that we have, like the Violent Crime Intervention Fund through the state, where we already have $39 million that we're getting ready to execute to support organizations doing that work. And I hope that by investing in that work and the law enforcement side, that we continue to see crime go down in this community.
Well, we have more questions to ask. We're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll have more with Mayor Young and Police Chief C.J. Davis.